Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brightops, and welcome back to Crusader Kings 2 Warhammer Storytime. Not Warhammer, Warcraft. My bad. Um, as normally with Storytime, I'll just show off the world, but before we do that, I'm afraid after some thought, I gave it a couple of days. I have decided that I am going to bring the Vulpera Rising series to an end. An early end. The reason for this is... well, part of it is I made some fundamental mistakes with how I set up my nation. Just the fact that I went feudal and... yeah, it's kind of screwed. That's kind of screwed me. It's been playing on my mind. I'm aware that I'm a perfectionist, and such misplays on my part, if I was just playing by myself, would by itself be enough to justify just scrapping the run and starting a new thing. But the other reason I've decided to bring it to a close is, well, the difficulty in actually playing the Vulpera. Because they're awesome. The Vulpera are awesome, and I absolutely love my little fox people. But the problem is, Crusader Kings 2, a lot of it is about making alliances via marriage. And the Vulpera can't seem to marry anyone outside of other Vulpera. Which is kind of a problem, since we're literally the only nation of fox people on the goddamn planet. And even then, we're very much limited to this part of bloody Zendala. So, we can't make proper alliances, which is a huge handicap in this game. Which is honestly kind of the reason I have decided to bring this series to an end. Just simply because, as I said, as much as I love the Vulpera, their inability to make proper diplomatic alliances is a huge hassle in this game. It really is. But as sad as this is, we might as well go and see what the world is like as we're taking our leave. Let's see, we're all familiar with the situation in Zandalar and the fact that they are currently in the process of subjugating the Darkspear. They are... yeah, it's at 93%. They're going to become a tributary state. There's just nothing that's going to stop that at this point. Let's have a look-see. High King Jaster the Darkener, so Jaster Gillywex, or Trade Prince Gillywex. He is married. He has he's had 3 children, though 2 of them were devoured. And I have no idea as to what has eaten them. Like, I'm not ruling out the possibility that Jaster has eaten his own kids, but... yeah, I don't really know what the story is behind these two. But yes, his youngest and currently only surviving child is a 3-year-old girl. She hasn't really gotten any stats going, but she has got some stewardship. So for a 3-year-old, pretty good. Let's see. Now let's go have a look at bloody... we'll start off our look with... well, Kalimdor. And to start with, just in southern Kalimdor, we can just see that the Sand Fury Trolls have, by and large, Zul'Farrak is basically limited to this one province. The rest have either gone independent, or have been conquered by others. Because we also have the Hellhoof clan of centaurs who have taken, well, a fair stronghold actually of Thousand Needles, and they've got a little gap of Zul'Farrak. But for the most part, the Sand Trolls are kind of on their own. Let's see. We also have the Goblins have also made a bit of a push as well into, well, into the the Trollvana. I don't know how to pronounce these guys, honestly. And apparently some of the cat people down in the south here have also drunken the demon blood Kool-Aid. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. The demons have definitely done some work in this particular version of the world. They've kind of scattered pockets everywhere. We also have one of the cat people has also they've gone to a Titan heresy of Loken. Now this is interesting because Loken, as anyone familiar with Warcraft lore, is familiar. Loken is a Titan keeper up in Northrend in Uldar, who effectively he listened to his old god charge a bit too much and ended up becoming corrupted and convinced by him. And he ultimately betrayed his other Titan watchers and tried to end the world. So there's at least one pocket of bloody cat people down here who are worshipping him. Which is interesting, to say the least. Let's see, going into bloody... Well, we still have the old god stronghold of insects just down here, and down here we also have Chieftain Kulgal, the Unready, who has taken a fair chunk of land as well to be near his master. He's also married and has had children, which is actually kind of new. Let's see, having a look at his kids, we've got his eldest son, Morlagal, who is kind of weak and arbitrary. So we're not really expecting much from this one. He has a two-headed daughter, which for ogres is a really good thing. It means you're smart. In this case, it means they're smarter and a lot better than pretty much everyone else. She's also got orc blood running through her, so yeah, when she matures, this is going to be very interesting to see how she would develop when she matured. And his youngest daughter is a sickly young girl. We're not entirely sure if she's going to make it or not, but we'll see. Let's see. We have a pocket of the Night Elves down here with Malfurion, he's managed to make some distance. Oh yes, fun little fact. Malfurion and Sonata, they had a little girl. They've had a little girl. At the moment she's sickly and she is technically considered a bastard because they're not married. But she's quick, and I kind of hope she lives. Sonata has been through a lot lately, let's be honest. Just being one-handed, crippled, disfigured, and having one eye, she's been through a lot. Let's see, we've also got the small pockets of arcane worshipping night elves is still around. And honestly, they're probably... Let's have a look-see. They're currently at war with Nelthurion. Because he's invading them to try and take some of their territory. Though, it seems the war's just starting off, but it seems that the Arcane Elves are winning it. At the moment. It's still early days, though, so we can't really say much. Let's see, another Centaur clan. Yeah, basically, these guys are Quelbors, but they're kind of been brought under the thrall of Centaurs. Let's see. We've also got another pocket of Taurians who belongs to a different breed of Centaurs. So we've got the Kulgar and the Gelix, who are two basic, kind of basically different centaur breeds, centaur clans that have taken huge swaths of Kalimdor. And there are also other smaller, admittedly smaller pockets, because we got more centaurs. Let's see, we've got the Room Totem clan, which is they're Turians, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look like they will be around for too long, because they are kind of small. Let's see. And as the further up north we go, we've got the Night Elves and their various, pockets of the Night Elves plus friends, just owning northern Kalimdor. We also have a bunch of satyrs who have just basically taken a lot of the isles over the Azimist Isles over here in their own little petty kingdom. And I mean, good for them, I guess. But, well, we'll see. And now moving on to Northrend, who, as we can see, the plague of undeath is just currently sweeping through Northrend. Currently, it's mostly centered around just the southern bit here. So it's heading into Suldrak, it's heading into the Dragonlands, and it's also heading a bit into Winterwood. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting development. So we've got the... How do you pronounce... The Takar, or however you pronounce their names. They're currently, from the looks of it, they are... Let's say... They're not yet at war against the Lich King. So they're in a defensive pact against him. So the Lich King does not... Well, the Lich King's currently declaring some wars and all that, but it seems he's taking his sweet-ass time with it. He's also at war with the Dragonflayers. Yeah, he's at war with the Dragonflayers, and the Dragonflayers are, at this point, losing the war. Though, considering that the current wife of King Yaren is currently undead, as well as a number of her siblings. Yeah, I can't help but feel like the Dragonflayers might be getting betrayed from within a little bit. So yeah, not really any major... No real developments here. Apart from... Well, the deployment of the Scourge, just sort of kind of wrecking shit, honestly. 'Cause yeah, no one's really standing out. There's no real standouts over here, which is a shame, but what can you do? And now we come to the main event of this particular episode, Lordaeron. For starters, just a minor thing, is I don't know where KelThuzad has gone. Just he is completely vanished. I don't know where he's disappeared to. I've actually tried to look him up on the Find Characters thing, and he just isn't there anymore. Just mostly because the Find Characters only seems to be limited to living characters, so... Yeah, there's a very real chance that... What? Huh. So the King of the High Elves appears to be rivals with... Well, some random elven woman, and the trade prince and basically one of the trade princes of Mechagon over in Rustbolt. So okay, that happened. Oh yes, we also have Sylvanas, who is still the lover of the High King. She has her 2 daughters, who are coming along fairly well. Like, they're not stand out, but they're doing alright. We also have King Arthas, High King Arthas, who is now currently the Lord of Lordaeron. He's a Lord of the Alliance, because his father died of an infected wound. So he stepped up. Just having a look at him, he has developed rather well. Admittedly, he's frail and he's become an apprentice priest, but yeah, he's not so bad. Admittedly, he's remarkably good at intrigue. He's an elusive shadow, so he's remarkably good at intrigue. And do keep in mind that the reason his diplomacy is only at 14 is because he's currently secluded in his court. So I'm fairly certain... Yeah, Frost Fever is currently going through Lordaeron, and the court's kind of isolated itself to try and stop the spread of that. So, Arthas is king. He's pretty solid, actually. We'll see how he goes with time. But yes, this is one of those major things I'm about to show off here that's kind of surprised the hell out of me. Because, well, okay, kind of to start with, while we're making our way down, is the fact that... Let's see, where are they? Because I know that there was a small pocket of it. Ah, there they are. Yeah, this county here is all that's left of the Wild Tamer Dwarves. Their native homeland has literally been taken by Murlocs, Gnolls, and Kobolds. Yeah, it is a sad day, but... Well, someone had to pay the price a bit. But yes, what matters here, though, is the Horde still exists. This surprised me, because we've seen the events where the Alliance managed to get an army through the Dark Portal, Draenor's exploded, Ner'zhul's the Lich King now, that all happened, but the Horde hasn't fallen apart. Because just to give an idea, we still have Warlord Blackhand is still in charge. He's a lunatic now, granted, but he's still up and about. And having a quick look at his sons. He's got at least his current heir is a drunkard, a crippled drunkard. So yeah, I don't think this particular one's going to last all that long. Let's see, Prince Maim of Redrich is kind of solid, actually. Like, admittedly, his diplomacy is absolute shit, but admittedly, doesn't have any major... Well, he does have flaws, but none huge and out of the way. Let's see. We also have... let's see. Gul'dan is also now a Fel Orc. And a demon. Yeah. Gul'dan has fully gone demon. He's insane and he's stressed, but... Yeah, he's fully transformed. Let's see. Admittedly, he's not going to have any more children, because he's had 3 in his lifetime, and all of them vanished without a trace, while they were all 1 year old, so... Well, except for this one. She was 0. Which is kind of a shame, but... Yeah. Actually, how many Fel Orcs are there? Hold on. Let's see, Fel Orc. It seems that there's only one actual Fel Orc in Azeroth, and that literally is Gul'dan. I don't know why these two are sticking out, but they're not Fel Orcs. Yeah. Also, another thing that's become of interest is Chieftain Guel of the Frostwolf clan is still a part of the Horde. The Frostwolves never left. They were never exiled, they never left. Though Duratan and his wife both died. They both died of comatose in their beds around at age 57 and 50. Both of them died at 57 respectively. And Goel is now leading the Frostwolf clan. He's an expert warrior, so good for him. And a damn good one too. Not gonna lie. Let's see, we also have, if you go further down, you've got the Garabashi, you've got Stranglethorn's just kind of a mess. And apparently it's picked up... Oh, so apparently some human pirates have shown up and taken a bunch of land from Stranglethorn. As well as some of the bloody Keldava as well. So, good for them. Let's see, we still have the Undead Gnome, who is now a much more experienced necromancer. Let's see, King Magni is still in charge. His brother Muradin died of natural death, and Prince Bran is still alive and well. And has had some children, and he's had children. One of them caught corrupted blood and died, though he does have a little girl. Let's see, and going over to let's see, was there anything just quickly reminding myself if there was anything interesting happening over in Gildaeus. Let's see, Prince Liam, Uncouth, pretty solid. Tess is currently pregnant, having her first child. She's coming along nicely. Let's see, another child, and we've had 2 other children. So, Princess Peggy and Prince, I have no idea how to pronounce his goddamn name. Let's see. Ah, yes, one of those developments of Kilteris is we know that it's under Lord Admiral Arthur the Blind. Now where are they? Oh yeah, your way, Chris. Ashvane. King Derek the Just, who's depressed and a lunatic, but is honestly just too bloody good with a sword that no one really wants to try and fight him, for obvious reasons. Let's see. Prince Trended is... He kinda sucks, but he's a really good diplomat. So he sucks, but he's very good at pretending he doesn't. And Princess Jaina Proudmoore is currently pregnant. She's groomed, attractive, sorcerer. She's an experienced hunter, of all things. Yeah, she's ended up married to Brannon Stormsong. Let's see, the name sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure he's involved in a questline in... Don't quote me on this, but I'm fairly certain he is involved in a questline somewhere. In either... I can't remember if it's in Stormsong Valley, or if he's the Stormsong guy who's down in Terran's Guard. During the angle points missions. I'm not sure you're gonna have... I'm not entirely sure. You may have to quote me. You might be better off not quoting me on that one. Let's see, and currently the heir to Kelteris is Prince Arthur, the younger brother of Princess Lucille, who is strong, shrewd, a novice shaman, gregarious, charitable, and kind. He's not so much as good at steward or intrigue, but he's fairly well learned. He's got a pretty solid martial skill, and he's a really good diplomat. So, not the worst king ever. Just putting that out there. Not the worst king. Let's see, and to no one's real surprise, Mechagon hasn't really changed anything. Yeah, they never do. But yeah, let's see, another development is Zul'Aman, the Omani Trolls are part of the Alliance. I don't think they particularly want to be part of the Alliance, but from the looks of it, Arthas didn't bring them in. He wasn't the one who brought them in. They don't like each other, by any means, but yeah, they're in there. But yeah, just the fact that the Horde still exists. And it gets even weirder when you consider the fact that Shadowforge is still around. Shadowforge, because the Horde, basically, they came in, they took a fair bit of Shadowforge. Let's be honest. And then they just sort of stopped. Shadowforge still exists, it still owns the border territories, really. And they ended up taking Black Coast, which, yeah, that's a thing. But we also have just a small pockets of basically Dark Irons who worship the light, who have... I'm not entirely sure how the hell they did this. There had to have been some sort of rebellion at some... Rebellion, but... Yeah, a number of these lands have actually converted. Like, yeah, everyone who's a part of this... Pretty much most of the people are part of this court are what light worship is, and it's a part of the Alliance. Which is probably why Shadowforge never made no move to try and take it back. Well, that's probably the Horde, because, yeah, if you declare war on these guys, then you effectively declare war on all of the Alliance, which is basically everything north of them. Which isn't going to end well for most people. Oh yeah, we also have the Gnolls, who have they kind of survived. They've kind of survived on just on the border. Admittingly, the Horde's moving to take their land now, but they're alive. They're at least there. And we have Medivh, who apparently had a kid. I'm not sure who the mother was, but... yeah. Apparently children were had. And admittedly, no one really wants to mess with Medivh, not even the Horde. So... yeah, he's still alive. And that's a lot of what we got so far. That seems to be the state of the world that we're leaving it in. I'm inclined to start a new series on this. Preferably with a race that's not as, well, limited when it comes to diplomacy. Because, yeah, that inability to marry outside of other Vulpera really hurts. It hurts a lot. And I'm happy to take suggestions about what race or whereabouts people want me to try and play. Because, I will admit, the default I'm going with is actually inspired by Warhammer. I'm thinking pick one of the human pirate factions and going full necromancer. Try to make myself a vampire pirate king. If anyone understands that reference, you're a fan of Warhammer Fantasy, and I love you for it. But until then, well, we'll see what people... I'm happy to get some feedback here. I'd love to see what people would want me to actually play. But until then, my name is Bright Ops, and I look forward to hearing from you. Ta-ta.